In this video, we are going to discuss the EB3 visa processing times for August 2025. We're going to talk about the PERM processing time, the I-140 processing time, the adjustment of status processing time, consular processing time, and the Visa Bulletin. And stick around until the end. We'll talk about some legislation that could speed up processing times, as well as work that we're doing with our congressional offices to speed up the PERM processing time. So let's get into it. First, we are going to Google PERM processing time. So just go to Google, type in PERM processing time, click on, you'll see dolflag.gov, click on processing times, and this is what the government U.S. Department of Labor website looks like. FLAG is the division that does foreign labor applications. So scroll down, you're going to look for PERM, which is right here. And just make a note of the last date that it was updated. They usually update once a month. This was about 8 days ago. And you want to look under processing queue for analyst review. And under priority dates, this is the date that they're processing. So what this means is the Department of Labor is approving PERM cases that were filed in April of 2024, whether it was April 1st or April 30th. They're processing PERM cases filed in April 2024. So, and just so you know, your priority date is the date that your PERM was filed. That's a very important definition. So that's about 16 months right now. April 2024 to August 1st, 2024 is about 16 months. So that's the PERM, that's the first step. Then we go back to Google, type in I-140 processing time, and scroll down to the first organic result, and you'll see USCIS.gov, and then click on processing times here. It's going to verify that you're a human, and then it takes you to this page. Now, this is kind of a new important note, and I'll explain this in a sec. So what this means is that they are doing internal work transfers. So if one office that receives applications gets really busy, they will internally transfer it to a different office to process cases faster, supposedly. But that's what this blue background information is. So come down here. To select form, we're going to go to I-140 under form category, Unskilled Worker EW3, and then we're going to look at both. We're going to look at the Texas Service Center because this is the service center where most applications get filed initially. And we can see for regular cases, they're taking 14.5 months. This has really slowed down over the past year pretty significantly. It was about 8 months about a year ago, so it's almost doubled. There is a little bit of good news, goodish news, in that there is premium processing available for the I-140, which means that if you pay an additional $2,805, they'll issue the approval within 15 business days. But Texas Service Center, which is the default, is 14.5 months. But then if you go to Nebraska and click Get Processing Time, it's 10.5 months. So, you know, it could be 10.5, it could be 14.5. It's really outside of your control. So, you know, as we say, hope for the best, prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. So, you know, make your expectation 14.5. So that's step 2 of 3, the I-140. Now we're going to go back to Google and type in Visa Bulletin. And you'll get the Visa Bulletin, departmentofstate.gov. This is what it looks like. Now, around the middle of the month, so around mid-August, the September Visa Bulletin will come out. But for now, we're going to look at the August Visa Bulletin. And I'm going to reduce the size of me right there so it's easier to see this. So come down to, you'll see family sponsored first. Come down to employment-based preferences. and you'll see two tables. You'll see final action dates and dates for filing, two different tables. And you click this little link to tell you which table to look at for that month. So employment-based, August, it says use the final action dates chart. So we'll come back here. Final action dates chart is chart A. So under the first row, we're going to go to other workers, and we're going to go to the all chargeability areas. Now, this is basically every country except India and China, because you can see that Mexico and Philippines, even though they're separate, they have the same cutoff date as ROW, rest of world, or all chargeability areas. So the way that you read this is, it's day, month, year. So July 8th, 2021. And what this means is that if your PERM was filed before this date, then you could proceed to the final step. So it's an adjustment of status if you're in the U.S., consular processing if you are outside the U.S. And if it's consular processing, you'll get your interview date. So this is also called the priority date cutoff. So your priority date, remember, is the date that your PERM was filed. So if your PERM was filed before this date, you can proceed to the final step. So this is the date that we look at every month. So that is how you check your EB3 processing times, no matter what step you're in. There are also, I'll give you a couple little tips. If you are in the I-140 phase, go to USCIS status check, and you'll see case status online, and you can enter your I-140 receipt number. This is also called your I-797 receipt number, just to check the status. If you are in the PERM stage, type in PERM status check, and you can go to case status search flag.dol. You'll have your PERM case number starts with a G. You can enter it here, and it will give you your update. So normally it will say analyst review if it's in process. So that is how you check your specific case if you have a case number. Now, there is legislation out called the Dignity Act, which was just introduced on July 15th. So if you type in Dignity Acts 2025 or Dignity Act Salazar, you will get recent news about it. And just to kind of show you, so it was introduced by two senators, Maria Salazar and Veronica Escobar. And if you go to this link, this really has the details about it. There's some great stuff for EB3 applicants in it. Major funding boost for Department of Labor, just for the Office of Foreign Labor Certification, where they do the PERM processing. Their current budget is about $65 million. So this is more than 3 times their current budget. So what that means is they'll have tons of money to hire new officers, develop new technology, install new technology for faster processing time. Same thing, huge boost to the consulate offices abroad so they can speed up any backlogs they have. And then a huge boost to USCIS for those I-140 and I-485 adjustment of status processing times. There are also, I'll show you, and we go back to Maria Salazar. So this is Maria Salazar's website. You should definitely bookmark this. And when you, just some key provisions here for people that are in the PERM process. This one here. So this goes for all employment-based, not just high-skilled, but the way they count for the quota right now, and this is for the Visa Bulletin, I'm sorry, not PERM, for the Visa Bulletin. So this would speed up those slow Visa Bulletin retrogression issues. But they count family members in the annual quota. This would change it, so they just count the worker. So right now, if you're a worker and you have a wife and a spouse and 2 children, that's 4. Right now, they count that as 4. What they'll do in the future, if this passes, is they'll just count it as 1, because they're just counting you, the worker. It doesn't change anything else. Everybody, your spouse and children still get their green card the same way, the same time, the same process that they do now with you. But it would, if essentially, the idea is to get rid of retrogression. So we strongly support the Dignity Act. I personally have been to fundraisers for Congresswoman Salazar, and our team is doing everything we can to support this and get this passed internally and with our employers. So thank you for watching. If you have any comments, questions, leave them below. We'd love to answer them. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care.